CB Shootout, Thunderpole T-600 versus PNI Escort HP7120.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres, and PMR 446. Or just the red squirrel if you like on the old CB. Well, you can use that on PMR 446 as well. I don't usually mention that, but you can actually. So, you know. So I've got two CB radios here. They look pretty identical. Got a PNI Escort HP7120 and the Thunderpole T-600. Now, the buttons on the front look obviously different. So, already know that that's the first difference. Second is the microphone. This is the one that comes with the PNI. And this is the one that comes with the Thunderpole. I do believe these microphones are interchangeable. This one does work on the Thunderpole, but we'll test the Thunderpole microphone on the PNI later. So, different backlights in the display and the buttons. This one's got a white one, this one's got a blue one. I'll show you that in a wee while. However, you'd think these would be the same inside, save for a bit of programming. Well, I'm going to pop the lids off and we're going to have a look inside. Now, they do come with identical mounting brackets and identical power leads, which makes some sense if they're made in the same factory and on the same production line. So, I guess these power leads are going to be interchangeable, which is fine. So, I'm going to pop the lids off these and we'll have a look inside. Now, I already know what's in there, so I'll pause the video while I get those lids off. Okay, so I've got the lids off now. So, you should be able to see some obvious differences straight away. It's got the electrolytic capacitors in this one, this is the PNI, are very much looking like they're through-hole types. They're not the surface mount ones that you get in here, although there are a couple of through-hole ones there. The speakers on both radios are completely different. They both have the commonality of plugging into the board there. It's got the transistors here. Now if I just see if I can read the marking, no, I can't read the markings on that, that's not helpful. So I can't read the markings on either of those transistors, which is not helpful. So crystal filters, ceramic filters, same in here. That'll be the reference crystal there, I'm guessing. I can't read that from the angle I'm at. Yeah, they've got these jumpers here, which I'm guessing makes the radios do naughty things. A couple of ICs here on this one. Same on that one. This unpopulated section here and here looks like the same sort of basic layout, so I'm guessing might be for 24 volts. And the boards look slightly different as well, but they're both marked YT2 E246715. Okay, so adjustments, FM mod, and I think AM mod, 1 watt and 4 watt. Those are your adjustments there. So 1 watt, 4 watt, AM mod, FM mod. There's not really anything else you can adjust in there, but don't touch those unless you've got the equipment to do it. So this is all screened at the top here. There's seeing 2 coils before the antenna socket on the Thunderpole, but on the PNI it looks like I'm only seeing 1. Yeah, there's only 1 on the PNI. So I think the Thunderpole might actually have better filtering. Now I've not checked that on a spectrum analyzer, and I don't have a means to directly connect them to my tiny SA. I don't have an attenuator right now, so I can't check that at the moment. So this has had a, looks like solder paste put on the vast majority of the empty component positions, where this doesn't appear to have had that done. Well, up here. So yeah, not entirely identical in there. I'm guessing there's adjustments hidden under here somewhere that you can't get at, but I think that'll be for things like filtering, like the 54 megs trap and whatnot under there, so probably best not to touch any of that. Now I've no idea what the jumpers do, and in this video I won't be even trying them, as this is just to compare the difference between the two. So that's pretty much what's inside both of them. That's the PNI HP7120, that's the Thunderpole T-600. There's not really a lot you can adjust in there. It's pretty much, they test it, and then component goes in, test again, component goes, yeah, select on tests, that's the method there. That's what they do with these. There's no coils or anything to adjust. You can adjust the power, but I wouldn't advise it. You can adjust the FM deviation, although that says FM mod on it. But make sure you've got a deviation meter before you do that. You can adjust the AM modulation as well, but again, make sure you've actually got a modulation meter before you do that. Because otherwise, yeah, it'll just sound awful. And you'll be transmitting on more channels than you ought to, especially in the case of FM deviation. So, that's pretty much what's in them. The boards are similar, but not the same. The components are, well, definitely not the same. There's more through-hole capacitors in there than there is these surface mount ones. So, may look the same on the outside, but doesn't necessarily mean it's the same on the inside. So, I think this one might be the better quality one so far. So I'll get the lids back on.
Okay, so taking a closer look at the inside of the PNI here. So we've got your AM mod, 4 watt and 1 watt adjustments, the jumpers and the oscillator crystal, the filtering, positioned for 2 crystal filters, only one's fitted though. Unpopulated space, which I believe might be a 24 volt regulator, and the FM modulation adjustment, that's FM deviation to be more precise. And as you can see, through-hole capacitors throughout. So now looking at the Thunderpole T600's internals with its surface mount capacitors throughout. Got the same adjustments, AM mod 1 watt and 4 watt. Same filtering, 1 crystal filter though positioned for 2. Same jumpers and reference crystal at the bottom. The FM modulation adjustment, or deviation adjustment to be more precise. And the unpopulated section, which I do believe may be a 24 volt regulator.
Okay, so I've got the lids back on now. So I'll bring one of them up. As you can see, the warranty seal on the PNI. I might focus on that, it isn't quite focused. Yeah. So these 4 screws are Torx T6 screws. So if in the bad old days, if you're old enough to remember the old Nokia 5110s, it's the same screwdriver that opens them up, basically. So there's usually 4 of them there that you just take off and then just leave the lid back with your thumbnail on the corner here, next to where the power lead goes in. That's how you get that open. You'll see there's a cover cap on the socket of this. That's a 3D printed one that I found on Thingiverse. Not mine, I didn't design that, but it is on Thingiverse. So just look for like SO239 protector or something like that. So they're both the same at the back. So it's the same basic case. It's that way. So you've basically got this heatsink and the connector there and the extension speaker socket if you choose to use an extension speaker. I generally don't with these. So I'll be doing an on-air test with them. Well, that will be on the day of filming this, hopefully tomorrow if the wind stays at a reasonably low level. That on-air test will be done either using my original method for doing it, which is with the Grant 2, or with the with an SDR, depending on what I think might be best for the video. So I could potentially do it with the SDR because I can set the screen to record, but I'd have to bring a long coax cable through into the living room in order to do that. So, because it's the only computer I've got that will actually run the SDR smoothly. So, we'll work that one out tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to get these powered up so you can see some of the differences. Just push those up a bit so you can see them. So, T600, PNI 7120. Let's turn them on. So that one shows -U in UK mode. That one says UK in UK mode. So here we go with the differences. So on the Thunderpole, UK mode, EU mode AM, UK mode. PNI, EU mode, FM, UK mode, FM. This won't do AM while it's programmed for the UK. So it loses a bit of a point on that. So, squelch. Manual squelch. Manual squelch. Lowest setting on the manual squelch, 0.1. Highest, 2.8. PNI. Squelch. Same again. Same again. Yep. Okay. Press and hold the squelch button on the Thunderpole. Auto squelch. Press and hold the button on the PNI. Make sure you can see the display while I do this. Auto squelch. They're both set to auto squelch 4 at the moment. So they've now both got auto squelch enabled. Okay. Thunderpole. Scan. Does what it says. Scan. Doesn't do anything else. Despite the fact the indicator icon is in the display. So, on the PNI, RF gain. Then back to normal. Press and hold. That's RF gain. So there's no, the scan isn't on this button. This is just the RF gain. I think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think there's a scan on that. So emergency 919 does exactly what you'd expect. So push and hold that on the Thunderpole, it locks the keys. Push and hold it on the PNI, it does the same, locks the keys. So I don't believe there is a scan on the. The scan on the PNI is located in the AF button. And if you press and hold the mode button on the Thunderpole, it allows you to change the mode with the radio still powered up, rather than you having to turn it off and turn it back on again. So those are pretty much fundamental differences in the software. The speakers definitely sound different. I can demonstrate that. We're turning the squelch off. Actually, maybe not. Sounds a bit muffled there because it's on the table. There we go. I think there's a slight difference in the speakers, but otherwise they'd be about the same. Let's put the squelch back on to 2.8 on both of them. That's the squelch at the maximum. So there's definitely software differences, and definitely some hardware differences inside. The next difference I'd like to see is an on-the-air test. Now I'm going to do that properly, and I'll do a power measurement into a dummy load whilst they're both connected to the car, just to see if there's any differences there as well, because the car can generate 13.8 volts with the engine running, although sometimes that'll float up a bit to about 14 volts. Sometimes in extreme cases it's 15 volts. So that's everything done here. I'm just going to turn off the supply down at the bottom, because I'm just running it off a car jump starter. And next part of the video, I should be on site testing these to see what the audio's like. Okay, so I'm on site, I've got the car off and I've got the window down, so it's a very hot day. So I've got the PNI Escort HP7120 and the Thunderpole T-600 on the top. I'll turn off the Thunderpole for the minute, because we don't actually need it right now. There's a switch behind there, so I'll check it's in the right position for the PNI. It is. And we'll test it and see how it sounds. Okay, this is a test of the PNI Escort HP7120 on its stock microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That has made it back. Let's put the Thunderpole mic in and see what happens there. Okay, this is a test of the PNI Escort HP7120 on its stock microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, on doing that, the radios fell off the top of the meter that I'm perching them on, so you might have noticed it's moved there. So Thunderpole mic's actually in front of it. So let's see how that sounds. Okay, this is a test of the PNI Escort HP7120 with the microphone from the Thunderpole T-600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's swap radios. Okay, this is a test of the PNI Escort HP7120 with the microphone from the Thunderpole T-600. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so microphone has been swapped. And radio has been swapped. So we're on the Thunderpole T-600 with its stock microphone. Let's see. This is a test of the Thunderpole T-600 on its stock microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just checking there to see if it's getting into the base at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, at home I'm using an SDR to record this instead, rather than the usual setup of the Grant 2. This is a test of the Thunderpole T-600 on its stock microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just checking there to see if it's getting into the base at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now I'm on the PNI microphone. Let's see what happens. This is a test of the Thunderpole T-600 with the PNI microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that's those done. Let's go to the next little test. This is a test of the Thunderpole T-600 with the PNI microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, so let's see how this is on receive then. There is some foreign interference today on the UK band. They obviously shouldn't be there. I think some of it's SSB. That really shouldn't be there. Let's see how we are on receive without an adjustable gain control. That's definitely SSB there on channel 9. This is a UK band. Usual lot aren't on 19, interestingly enough. Not reading anything on the S meter, but there was definitely something there. And it wasn't down in the noise, which is good. There's actually... Okay, there's activity just coming on 40 now, so, you know, that's good to know. Okay, so let's see how the PNI fares in that regard. Okay, so now it's the turn of the PNI on receive. I can hear something at the back of the noise there on the PNI. Okay. Remember, the PNI has an adjustable and switchable RF attenuator. The Thunderpole doesn't. Okay, the PNI is not hearing on 40 what I'm hearing on the Thunderpole, so yeah, maybe conditions have changed slightly. Yeah, so they seem to receive okay, both of them. Okay, so now the next test is a test of power. I need the car engine running for that, and that'll be the final test I'll be doing up here. Okay, so now time for the power test with the car engine running at, well, it's saying 14 volts on my FTM400's display, but it is a smart alternator, so it'll start regulating that back up and down. It's just dropped to 13. So, let's see what this is doing. This is the PNI. I would say, because I can't actually see the display from here without looking through the camera, somewhere around about the region of about 3 watts. That's into a 50 ohm dummy load. Okay, Thunderpole. Right, so it's now the turn of the Thunderpole T-600. Let's see how much power that's developing. At, well, 13.2 volts. It's, okay, it's within range. I would say about the same, just slightly shy of 3 watts, according to this Zetagi Mod 203W meter. Not the most accurate machine in the world, but, you know, it does the job. So, I'm going to go back home and have a look at these results. Okay, there was some noise on the transmission, as you noticed, from when I was recording from the remote site. So, I've connected both radios through the switch to a dummy load, both on the same channel, channel 40. So, because that's what the SDR's set to at the moment. So I can see the SDR from here because it's just the other side of the room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the microphones again and see if we can actually notice any difference. Because I didn't notice any because of the interference that I was getting, and it's been getting progressively worse. But turning the RF gain down on the SDR seems to have solved it a little bit, but not a lot. So let's see. So we'll start with the PNI Escort HP7120 with its stock microphone. This is a test of the audio from the PNI Escort HP7120 using its stock microphone. The PNI Escort HP7120 using its stock microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's got a better trace on the old SDR there. Now let's see how this radio fares if I plug the Thunderpole one into it. This is a test of the audio from the PNI Escort HP7120 using its stock microphone. PNI Escort HP7120 using its stock microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now I've got the Thunderpole microphone, this one, plugged into the PNI, you'll see there's nothing plugged into the Thunderpole at all, just yet, because we're not using that yet. So, this is a test of the PNI with the Thunderpole microphone. Let's see how it fares. So, this is a test of the PNI Escort HP7120 with the microphone from the Thunderpole T-600. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the microphone from the Thunderpole T-600 on the PNI Escort HP7120. Right, time to swap radios.
So this is a test of the PNI Escort HP7120 with the microphone from the Thunderpole T-600. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the microphone from the Thunderpole T-600 on the PNI Escort HP7120.
Okay, so we're now on this radio. This is the Thunderpole T-600. And let's see how its mic sounds on the air. So this is a test of the Thunderpole T-600. That's the Thunderpole T-600 with its stock microphone. That's the Thunderpole T-600 with its stock microphone. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, the ice cream van's out. Not sure if you can hear that. So, that's the stock microphone on the Thunderpole T-600. So, let's swap the microphone for the one from the PNI. Well, we already know it works, but it's worth a try anyway to see if it sounds any different. So, these are a pain to undo. So, that's now undone. So, I'll grab the PNI's microphone. That is just to hand what it was. Seem to have misplaced it. I'll pause the video while I look for that. So this is a test of the Thunderpole T-600. That's the Thunderpole T-600 with its stock microphone. That's the Thunderpole T-600 with its stock microphone. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Thunderpole T-600 with the microphone from the PNI plugged into it. Now, I've done this test in a previous video, the one where we first looked at the T-600, but it doesn't hurt to do it again. So, let's do it again. And this is a test of the Thunderpole T-600 with the microphone from the PNI Escort HP7120. That's the Thunderpole T-600 using the microphone from the PNI Escort HP7120. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So let's have a look how that's come out.
And this is a test of the Thunderpole T-600 with the microphone from the PNI Escort HP7120. That's the Thunderpole T-600 using the microphone from the PNI Escort HP7120. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the conclusion of the video. So, let's just take the microphone off this now because we don't need it. So, the costs. Now, when I bought this, it was in the £50 region and it came with an antenna. So, I've checked on the website of where I got this from and it doesn't appear to be available. So it doesn't appear to be listed there. So, but you can get the similar PNI Escort HP6500, I think it's called, as well. I'm not sure the price on that, but this was £50 with an antenna. This, currently selling for about £65 without an antenna. You have to buy an antenna separately. But you can, I think you can get this in one of Thunderpole's kits. If you can, I'll pop a link in the video description below. So, overall, I feel that this one's the better quality. It comes with a better microphone. Has a blue backlight display. It doesn't have the RF gain function, though. But that's no big loss. Because what it lacks there is it makes up for the fact you can just switch between EU, FM, and EU AM and back to UK without having to turn the radio off and reprogram it for a different country. And you can also change the country without having to switch the radio off. And that's another plus on this radio, whereas on this one, in order to set it up for a country, you have to turn it off, press and hold the AF, and then turn it back on. And then turn it off and back on again. It's a bit of a nightmare with that one. So this one's easier to set up and comes in the UK mode. This comes in the EU mode as it's intended for the Romanian market. I don't think the quality of the circuit board inside of this one is as good as it is on this one. But they're both lightweight and they're both quite small and both fit into modern cars. You couldn't get an older CB in a lot of modern cars. It's a bit difficult. So, the microphone that comes with the PNI I find is a bit too light for my liking. I prefer the one that comes with the Thunderpole, although I do happen to know that it's just a lump of metal in there that gives it the weight. But it works quite well. The audio sounds good from the Thunderpole. Doesn't sound too bad from the PNI. I think there isn't really much competition between these two radios. They both do what they're meant to do. This one having the added feature of AM in the UK mode. This one having an RF gain on it, which this one doesn't have. This one just has the scan on that button instead, which means it's straight to scan, whereas on the PNI, you have to press and hold a button. In this case, it's the AF button in order to do the scan. They're both good value for money. I think the Thunderpole may have its deviation set up a bit better than the PNI, because the PNI didn't sound as loud in my opinion. But you could judge for yourself. So they both come with the same sort of power lead, same sort of mounting brackets, same sort of screws. One of the things I've noticed the difference was the mic clips. The one that came with the PNI was just a standard metal one, like you get with CBs of old. The one that came with the Thunderpole T-600 is identical to the one that came with the Thunderpole T-3000, which I've owned for the best part of 2 years now, because I got it before all the COVID stuff started. So, yeah. So, two little radios. They're not exactly identical in any way, shape or form. They're programmed differently as far from a firmware level. The other thing I noticed with these is that when you key up on the Thunderpole, all the S-meter bars are lit. That doesn't mean anything. And when you key up on the PNI, only 4 of them are lit. But again, that doesn't mean anything. It's not actually a proper signal meter, as it tends to be the case. It just tends to be just a TX light. That's all it tends to be. So, there's Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform. Or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Or just the red squirrel on the CB, if you like. You can use that on PMR 446 as well, like I said at the start of this video. So, not sure how informative this has been. This was just a comparison of the two radios more than anything else. So, 7.3 for now, and I'll catch you in the next video. And you can buy me a coffee if you want, or you can subscribe to the Patreon. You get early access to videos that way. Usually about 3 days before everybody else. That's about £4 a month to do that. You don't have to if you don't want to. My videos are free for everybody. So, just get a couple of extra perks there if you subscribe to the Patreon. The Buy Me a Coffee just buys me a coffee to keep me going and keep making good content for this channel. So, 7.3 for now, and I'll catch you in the next one.